Welcome back here to the channel. So today I'm going to show you how we can use events, and sometimes this can be difficult to understand what they are used, what how we can pass information from a block to a screen and so on. At least I remember that when I was starting dealing with events, I didn't understand quite well how it works. But in today I'm gonna cover what are the challenges in the events and how we can and how I can show you and help you. I guess to not have these issues if you are starting OutSystems. So in the main flow, let's create a block. We can set as block 1. It doesn't matter. And let's say that we have, let's drag and drop a container, and let's use int parameter. Okay, and we can create a local variable here. So let's create a name, and right now we have this block, but I'm not going to use a block as a screen, so I need to use this block inside a screen. And we create blocks in order to reuse them in different screens. So I need to use an event in order to pass the information that happens in this block to the screen, okay, to the father. So in order to do this, we need to create an event type, an event. So let's say trigger event name data, and we need to the way that we can send this, the way that it is right now, we can use as on change. So when we change, so when the input value changes, we send this information. Or we can use as on blur. So when we click or we move, we do not focus anymore on the input. It is the on blur. But in this case, I'm going to show you how we can do this in the on change. Okay. So in here, we can use the event as an action, or we can create a new action. Okay, we can create a new action and send the event here. We can do both of ways, but in this case, I'm going to use an action. Okay. And by doing this, we need to send something here because we have the value here, but it's nothing. Nothing is sending here, just an event. But the event is just an action that will run in the screen or in another block in the footer. Okay, but so we need to pass the information as well. So what we do is to send an input parameter here, mandatory, and after this we can set the name. Okay, so every time that I'm going to change the value on the input, you're going to send the name, the value, the current value on the input to the upward block or screen, to the footer. Okay, so we can use the block here. We can use a new block. So let's say block 2. And if we drag and drop the block 1 here, we need to set a handler. Why? Because we are creating a trigger, which is mandatory. So it is mandatory to set an action here. It's this. Okay. So the trigger event. So when we use an event and we use in a different or a block or a screen, we need to set the handler. It's just an action. Okay. And in this case, I can also in here create a new event or just set an action. Okay. But this time I'm gonna use again an event. Okay, so let's say trigger our event name. Okay, so here we're going to have the also the event name, but the event name, it will not have the value name. So we need to do again the same thing. So you need to use the set name here in order to send the value. So I'm going to send this one, the name. And the name is the event name that we have here. So let me change this. So let me change as name input. Okay. And as you can see, the name value that we are sending, it's this one and not this one, because the value that we are using, or the unique value that we have here, the unique one, is the one that we have here. It makes sense? I can do a different exercise. Okay. And after doing this, so let's create a screen. That's the one that we're going to have the value. So test event. And the one that I'm gonna grab is this one. It's not this one. But we can use both in order just to show you. So let's first use the block one. Okay. If we use the block one, he will ask us the same thing that we set on the block two. Everything the same. So I'm going to have a new handler. Okay, on the test event. Let me just see some. Yeah. So I'm going to have let's set an action. Okay, makes sense. And when we create the action, we have the name, which is the same input parameter that we have here. That's what he does. So he mirrors from here to here when we are using. So in order to have this value, we need to set a local variable. Okay. And let me change name local. And here we're going to have the value, but the value is on the block one. It's not the test event. It's not in the test event. Okay. So in order to have on the screen level, we can set the name local, that is the one that we have on the input parameter, which is this value. Okay. So let's do this, but let's use we can use yeah, okay. So we have the value here. So let's set the value, the name local inside here under the input parameter, and we can see in the app these changing, and also these will going to change. Okay, so let's see that. Okay, so let's open our screen. Okay, so we have here the test event. Remember, this input is inside the block one. It's not in the screen level. But let's see. So let's use this. So let me test. Do you see? Do you see? So we are changing here, which is in the block. We are passing the information by an event input parameter, and we are setting on the handler on for the screen level the value. That's what we are doing. Okay. So let me go back here. So we create a block which has an input parameter, widget. Sorry. We create a local variable because we need to. This is mandatory. We need to set a value, a local, in order to hold that value. So after that, I need to pass this information, the name, in the upwards module. Okay. So in order to do this, we need to create an event. And in order to pass the information, we need to create an input parameter. Make sense? Okay. So by sending this information, at least like this that I have, input parameter, the input widget, I'm gonna send as on change action. So every time that we change the value on these inputs, he will run the events, he will send this information. We're going to grab here in the screen, we're going to set the name local, which is this variable, it is in the screen level. I'm going to set the value in order to send the information here to here. That's everything that we are doing. So if you refresh again, we do not have anything on the expression. Why? Because this is empty. This is null. So if it change this to Pedro, he runs every single time the one change, when we change the value, of course, and he passes the information to the screen level or to the father. Okay? But imagine that I do not want to use this block. I want to use this one. Okay? Imagine that I have information here from the block one that goes to a different block, and after that block it goes to here. But it's the same. It doesn't matter. So a block, when it starts, you need to send the information to the upward elements. In this case, you need to send information from block 1 to block 2 to the screen. Or if you want to use the block 1, you're going to just this block inside this, you need just send the information here to here. Okay, I think it's I think it is well explained. Please add any comment on the comment section, please, in order to, if you have any doubts, I'll be more than happy just to show you a better example. Okay, but remember, just a block, we can create the event, and the block is just a piece of HTML code with actions and CS and CSS and so on, and we just need to pass the information that we have in this block to the father. So where this block is going to be used. Okay, that's everything that we do. And we do this by using an event, and we need to send information. We use input parameters. That's everything. Okay, so hope you liked it, and please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.